Imagine this. You're sitting down after a long day and you pull out your phone and you decide to tweet something because you read an article that you disagree with. Now, imagine that tweet gets sent off and you think nothing more of it. You think nothing more of it because it's not offensive, it's not mean. In fact, you're telling the truth in that tweet, this post on social media. And then, before you know it, you get a knock at the door from the police and you are arrested. You are threatened with being locked in a cage because you told the truth. This is a real problem that is taking place. Now, I've been arrested, sort of. I can somewhat relate. I've been arrested digitally. I was locked in a cage on TikTok. In fact, the key was thrown away and I was put on death row, you may say. And the reason this happened is because I said something truthful. I said with my account of 800,000 people that men cannot get pregnant. And I was absolutely attacked. Just absolutely attacked. But if I said what I said in a country that locks people up, hello United Kingdom, hello Europe, for saying truthful things that offend people, then I may have actually gone to jail. But all that really happened was I lost my account because TikTok Australia sat down. Yes, they had an actual meeting in a boardroom. They probably had muffins and decided that I was too dangerous to be on their platform. The story in question today comes from a gentleman in Europe who said something far worse than what I said. He's facing 2 years in prison for allegedly criticizing via a tweet the idea that men can't breastfeed. That is the world we are in right now.
This tweet in question with the breastfeeding, I believe it was put, I believe I tweeted it in August of last year. It was a Pink News article which was telling us, the reader, how wonderful it is for men or trans women to be able to breastfeed and why it's good for mom and baby.
Is that not something you would tweet about? Is that not something you'd comment back on and go, hey, what the fuck?
I put forward a staunch criticism of that.
Okay, what qualifies as a staunch criticism? Let me know in the comment section right now. What do you think he tweeted? That's what I want to know. I'll give you a minute. All right, you pause the video. Best answer gets a copy of Betterman, a great book by me. Well done. Audio book out now, or almost now.
If you think about male breastfeeding, then obviously it's the man cannot carry a child nor give birth to it. So what is the motivator behind a man actually taking drugs, domperidone, to induce lactation to breastfeed the child?
This is an interesting way to think about it because he's actually talking about the reasoning as to why the trans woman wants to breastfeed. Now, is it because she wants to feel like more a woman than previously? But I think he's going to suggest something different.
Whose needs is
exactly
whose needs are being satisfied here? Is it the needs of the infant, or is it the needs of that person who is taking the drugs and trying to breastfeed an infant?
And of course, your criticism was very robust, and you said that it was a form of child abuse. And
yes,
that there was a
okay. That's a different way of thinking. I think most people look at it and go, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. Like, that's pretty gross, etc., etc. Like, you're creating. Is it actually even milk? Like, what is this substance that's coming out of your nipple? It's all chemically based. I don't know. But is it child abuse? I don't know. I've always sort of seen child abuse as like the most horrific shit, right? But I guess if you... Fuck, it's a hard one.
A fetishistic aspect.
Yes, I used the P word.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, this is a big call. This changes my reaction to what he said, but it also doesn't. Do I think that it's the P word? No, I don't think that it's that. But he should be able to say that because that's what free speech is all about. It's about being able to say things that may offend others. And if you offend someone, it doesn't mean you should be locked up. That's crazy. That's madness. That is a dictatorship. And that is not a country any of us want to live in. That's even though he says something that you disagree with, and you might disagree with every fiber of your being, he shouldn't be locked up for it.
In this context, and I stand by it, because if you do use or if you are not a gynophile, and which is a sexual fetish.
I've heard the word gynophilia before. Let's have a look at it. It's a sexual orientation that describes a person's attraction to women and femininity. Okay, so they're sexually attracted to being more feminine or interesting.
If you are using infants or children, for that matter, to satisfy your sexual fetishes, it's pedophilia.
So, I mean, critics will say, well, we don't know the secret motivations of anyone, and that's an assumption that you're making.
Yeah, okay, and we don't know the motivations. I guess a lot of these people who maybe they want to breastfeed a child, they want to be a woman so much, and this is part of being a woman. And not every woman breastfeeds. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, and breastfeeding is difficult. So, that doesn't make you less of a woman if you can't breastfeed. But do you need to do that as a part of your transitioning? Probably not. Is it healthy for the baby? Probably not. So should we be arguing about this, and should this guy then go to jail because he suggests that maybe they're a bit strange for doing it? And calling someone the P word is a big deal. Those people who are proven to be those heinous creatures, they are worse than anyone else committing any crime ever. So this is a massive call, and I don't necessarily agree with him, but he should be able to say it. Okay, he's not saying that your name and your address. He's not saying you're one of these people. He's saying overall this may be what's happening, and he should be able to have that opinion and not go to jail for it.
Well,
but then the question is, that doesn't mean it ought to be criminal.
No.
To make that supposition.
No.
Exactly. That's literally the argument here. He should be able to say what he fucking wants.
Of course it shouldn't. But here we are. We are in this situation now where I'm being charged for it. But I am actually quite happy to be charged for that specific tweet, because it just shows what sort of how morally bankrupt this queer movement has become.
Your lawyer says that he thinks it's likely you're going to be convicted.
That's crazy.
Yes, the thing is, the Icelandic state apparatus is completely captured from top down. I mean, currently we have a situation where all schools are captured. Even the Church of Iceland is captured. The Bishop of Iceland has a trans-identified child.
Wow. Okay. So obviously in Iceland right now, when he says captured, he means by extreme progressive mindsets and ideology and doctrine. So yeah, obviously he is, and it's been enforced by law. That's scary. That's what you don't want. You don't want things that are fringe beliefs becoming enforced by law. That's fucking dangerous. That's bad.
Well, what charge are the police saying that they're levelling against you?
So it's the breach of our criminal code number Article 233, which is, a derogatory language, against a protected group.
Why is anyone protected? I hate pity being taken against people, and I think most people don't like pity being taken against them. And I think that if you are a protected class and it's written into law that you have to be protected, like, how does that make you feel? Do you feel strong because of that, or do you feel like people are looking down on you? Like, that's got to be a shit way to live.
So it's quite similar to the sort of hate speech laws that we've got over here.
Yeah.
Okay, but, so they're going to prosecute you.
Well, I haven't been officially charged yet, but like my solicitor says, I can expect being charged relatively soon.
But ultimately, it comes down to free speech. When I speak to Americans about the situation in the UK, they can't believe that people in the UK are arrested for tweets, let alone that the police would even get involved whatsoever, even if they're really offensive and horrible. Because they have their First Amendment.
Exactly.
We don't have that.
I do not attack anyone personally, and I don't even think that I'm attacking a specific group. I am actually criticizing an ideology,
which is your right.
A set of ideas, and I'm just communicating my honest opinion.
The interview goes on, and I urge you to go and have a look. You can probably look up Andrew Doyle on Twitter, and you'll be able to find it through him. The conversation is scary for people who feel like you should be able to say what you feel, and that should be all of us. It really, really should. This shit's happening in Australia right now. There are hate speech laws coming out. You can't even do a salute that was popular in the 1930s, 1940s in Germany, in Australia, because it's been pushed through Parliament that you can now, the minimum sentence is like a year in prison for doing a salute. That's crazy. I disagree with the salute. I disagree with the ideology. I don't think you should do it. I would never do it, but you should be able to. That's the point. So Elder, or the Icelandic gay guy, as he goes by, This is the tweet in question. It's on his GoFundMe. You can probably go check that out if you just look up Legal Fund for Elder, spelled like that. You can look at the words he said in his tweet right there. I'm not even going to say them because I don't want to get arrested, but he has raised over £6,000. His target is £35,000. And I imagine this is for the legal fund that he is probably going to have to use. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can disagree with this dude. You can agree with this dude. It does not matter. The conversation between, hey, you should be able to say things in comedy is exactly the same as this. I've spoken a lot about you should be able to joke about whatever you want, and it is exactly the same. You must be able to say what you think, and you must be able to say it freely. And without that, that is fucked. It's happening in my country. It's happening in the UK. It's happening in Europe. Thankfully, in America, you guys are protected by the Constitution, but most other countries don't have that protection at all. We are basically just drifting through space waiting to get arrested by the man if we say things that happen to be words that offend somebody on the fringe. Mate, it's fucking bananas and it should not happen. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Be dick stinks. Check out the Mum and Dad Show. It's on the Mum and Dad Show channel. It's a podcast with my wife and I where we talk mad shit about everyone in the entire world. Also, check out our live stream. It's live on Rumble on Saturdays in Australia at 12 midday, which is in the afternoon in America, or evening in the UK, probably in the middle of the night. My name's Isaac Butterfield. Toodle-oo. Bye-bye.